You did what every parent is told to do. You noticed the behaviors, the delays, the things that just didn't seem typical, and you called your pediatrician. You got the referrals, the evaluations, the diagnosis, and you thought, okay, this is it. We're finally getting help. And then you waited, or maybe even therapy started, but months in, something doesn't feel right. You're not seeing the kind of change you'd hope for. You're repeating your story to new people over and over again. You're exhausted and quietly, usually late at night, you start wondering, is my child just not responding? Are we doing something wrong? Is this as good as it gets? Today, I want to break the fourth wall a little bit for you. Not to tell you insurance is bad and private pay is good. Not to say one type of therapist is right and another one is wrong. I just want to show you how this system you were dropped into was actually built, who it was built for, and why it so often feels like it's failing families, even when everyone inside of it is trying their best. For those who are new to this channel, my name is Elami. I'm a behavior therapist. Me and my team have helped over 100 families, both inside and outside of the insurance behavior services. And today, I want to share with you how the insurance model actually works. Most families assume that therapy is therapy. You get a diagnosis, you get services, you get help. What really happens in the insurance world looks a lot more like this. You have to get an evaluation, then a referral, then a diagnosis, then you have to wait for an authorization, you have to be put on a wait list, wait for staffing, and then finally sessions start. Each step exists for a reason, but together they can easily add up to 6 to 12 months before meaningful help hits your living room. During that time, your life does not pause. Behaviors escalate, siblings start melting down too, school gets tougher, your relationship with your spouse or significant other gets strained, you're walking on eggshells, and the system is still processing. That gap between when you feel the urgency and when the system moves is not about anyone not caring. It's about what the model was designed to optimize. Insurance-based therapy was built to manage risk, documentation, and create clear practice guidelines across thousands of cases. It was not originally designed around the question, how fast can we change life for this one family? Inside that model, the payer is the insurance company. So a lot of decisions orbit around the rules for covered services. Goals are filtered through medical necessity and service codes. Services are authorized in hours and units, and providers are paid based on hours delivered, not based on how fast outcomes are delivered. Again, that doesn't mean that your child's therapist doesn't care about outcomes. Most of them absolutely do, but the rules they have to run on were laid by an insurance company, not by you. And unfortunately, not all behavior practices are the same. Some optimize for those billable hours, not necessarily based on speed of client progress and outcomes. So, if your child's biggest struggles are school refusal, homework on mornings, explosive behavior at home, siblings constantly in conflict, those may or may not line up neatly with what's easy to bill and what insurance will approve. If your child has ADHD, anxiety, big behaviors, but not the right diagnosis code, behavior therapy might be exactly what they need and still not be covered by your insurance. From the outside, it feels like you're screaming, "We need help over here," and the system keeps answering, "We're only allowed to help over there." That's where the frustration comes from. Two ecosystems, two sets of incentives. This is the part that nobody explains to parents. There isn't just one therapy world. There are two different ecosystems that sometimes overlap. There's insurance-based therapy and there is private pay or parent-led programs. They can use similar tools, similar clinicians, even some of the same techniques, but the rules and incentives are completely different. In the insurance ecosystem, the customer is the insurance company, since they are the ones reimbursing for services. Approvals often dictate how many hours of service, what kind of goals your family can work on, where therapy can happen, and the system rewards rigid compliance with process, clear documentation, and predictable billable hours. In a private pay, parent-led ecosystem, and I'm talking generally here, not just about my practice, the customer is you, the family, because you are paying for services. You and the clinician decide what matters most, what to work on first, where and how sessions happen, and what would be the most impactful to your family's lives. The ecosystem is designed to reward speed of change, practical impact in daily life, and you needing less help over time, not more. Neither ecosystem is good or bad on its own. They just answer different questions. Insurance says, how do we provide something standardized and billable across millions of people? And private pay can ask, how do we solve this family's problem as directly and quickly as possible? Unfortunately, most parents are never told they're even choosing between ecosystems. They're just doing what their pediatrician or school told them to do, often being shuffled from one provider to another to meet insurance requirements to just get started with behavior support. Now, layer this onto your lived experience. You're sending your child to therapy week after week, you're doing your part, you're holding it together at home as best as you can, and you're thinking, is this a help? Why does it still feel hard? It's very easy to internalize that and make it about you. We must be a difficult family. My child is just really resistant. I must not be doing something right. What's more accurate most of the time is this: you're in an ecosystem that was not primarily designed around your child, your home, or your family's needs. The model is slow, it's paperwork heavy, and it rewards staying in process for a long time. And an argument could even be made that it incentivizes practices to keep you in services longer. And then you judge yourself by its pace. You're not broken because the system is slow. So what does a parent-led or private pay behavior program track try to change? Again, I'm not saying this is the right fit for everyone. Private pay services are often far more expensive since you are responsible on the investment for services, not insurance. And there are situations that insurance-based services definitely make sense. However, if you're a family that's in a fortunate position financially where you can afford private pay behavior services and are not choosing purely based on what will insurance cover, it's worth knowing that different programs outside of insurance with different rules and different results are possible. Most parent-led models first start with you, not just with your child. They assume that you're the constant, you're the one in the meltdown, you're the one dealing with the homework battle and the bedtime war. So they focus heavily on teaching you a framework, coaching you through real situations at home and at school and wherever the behaviors happen, and helping you feel in control. Second, they work where the problems actually are. Instead of being limited to clinic rooms or these certain billable codes, they can come into your home, talk directly with your child's school, and design plans around your actual mornings, evenings, and weekends in the community. Number 3 is that they shift the timeline. Because they're not waiting on authorizations, they can often get started faster, adjust faster if something isn't working, and define success as you needing less support as your skills grow. And they also serve kids who don't fit insurance boxes: ADHD, anxiety, big behavior without a qualifying diagnosis, kids who just miss a criteria. Private models can still work with them if the fit is right. Now, the trade-offs are real. With insurance, you have lower out-of-pocket costs, higher administrative friction, and less control. With private pay, you have a higher cost, more control, potentially faster and more tailored support. Neither is automatically right or wrong. They're just different tools built for different families' needs. So, what do you do with all of this? Whether you stay within insurance, look at private options, or combine both, here are some questions that you are allowed to ask. Who is the real customer in this model? Me or the insurance company? How does that show up in decisions? If our life got meaningfully better in the next 8 to 12 weeks, what would we actually see? Are we working directly on those things? How will we know this is working for our family, not just have the completing the sessions? What parts of our home or school life are off limits in this model because of rules or codes? If my child didn't have the right diagnosis, what support would still be available? These are not rude questions. They're responsible questions. You're not just buying hours. You're trying to buy back calm, connection, and confidence in your own home. And again, let me say this clearly. Private pay is not for everyone. A lot of families are in a position where insurance is the only way they can get any services. If that's you, there is zero shame in that. You are doing exactly what you should be doing, getting your child help with the resources that you have. For those families, the most important question becomes, Given that we're inside the insurance model, how do we get the most out of it? Things like asking better questions, advocating for your family to make sure goals actually match what matters at home and at school, understanding what is and isn't possible inside that system. What I'm actually saying is this: if you're limited to insurance, let's talk about how to navigate that as well as possible. If you are in the fortunate position of having more options, it's worth knowing that different rules and different results are possible. If nothing else, I want you to walk away with this. You're not failing because progress has been slow. Your child is not too difficult because the model hasn't fit. You've been inside a system that was built to solve one set of problems: risk, documentation, and cost control. And you've been asking it to solve something much more human. How do we get our life back? There are therapists inside the insurance world doing incredible work. There are private pay options that are thoughtful and ethical. And there are also versions of both that aren't a fit. My goal with this video is not to tell you abandon this and only do that. It is instead to say, here's how the behavior therapy industry works, here's why you feel the way you do, and here are the levers you didn't know you had. In other videos, I'll walk you through what a parent-led model can look like in practice and how to tell if that's the right next step for your family or not. So be sure to like and subscribe by hitting the button below. For now, if you've been carrying around the feeling that something about this doesn't make sense, you're not crazy. This system wasn't built around you, but you're allowed to build a plan that is. Don't forget to subscribe and share this with a parent who may need to hear it. See you guys on the next one.